Today on Variant, I count down the top 10 Batman armors. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I can't wait to see the Lego Batman movie tomorrow night. I'm your host, Arris. As you all know, the Lego Batman movie comes out this weekend in the US. So in honor of the occasion, I wanted to do a Batman-themed episode. Last year I did a top 10 Batsuits episode, and that got me thinking about how no one really talks much about all the armors Batman has had over the years in comics. And since he's had quite a few, I will say I'm only talking about armors. So things like the Batman Beyond suit, the Hazbat suit from the Amazovirus story don't count. I'm only talking about his actual armors, which are usually made of some sort of metal. Anyway, I'm going to stop babbling and start counting down the top 10 Batman armors. Kicking off the list is Batman's augmentation suit, which is the only real name we got for it, as I believe it only appeared in Batman and Robin issue 12 of the New 52. But the point is, this armor is awesome. In the story, a villain named Terminus wears an armor that gives him superhuman strength. So of course, Batman has to step up his game, but since he always has a plan, he tells the Batmobile, open undercarriage slide, ready augmentation suit. Because who wouldn't want a massive mech armor in their car? That's just awesome. Batman really does have all the fun toys. Once Batman is armored up, we see how cool it is. It gives him red eyes and a red bat symbol. It also gives him incredible strength and even the ability to fly, all Iron Man style. The suit was also strong enough to save Batman from a nuclear blast. Need I say more? Next, we have the GCPD Batsuit. Now, this suit got a lot of hate when it first debuted, due to people saying it looked like Chappie Batman or Bunny Batman. And while I will say I agreed at first, it eventually grew on me, especially once I learned that it was a mech suit that Jim Gordon Batman could get in and out of, and not his actual Batsuit. For those of you who don't know, Jim Gordon became Batman for a brief time, when Bruce Wayne Batman was thought to be dead. Bruce later returned, of course, but you guys get the point. Anyway, as for the GCPD Batman armor, it was made by Power Industries and given to Jim Gordon to use as Batman. It's made of nanocarbon and has pretty much every gadget or tech you can think of. Besides the suit having rocket launchers on its shoulders and whatnot, one of my favorite aspects of the mech suit is that it could be put into an autopilot when Jim Gordon wasn't in it. He could even fight alongside the suit and referred to it as Rookie. I really liked how Snyder and Capullo made the suit a character in itself. It was like getting two Batmans for the price of one. Now we have the Azrael Batman armor. This is the costume/armor Jean-Paul wore during his time as Batman. It seems kind of dated now, as the 90s were a time where artists seemingly thought that if you just put more sharp edges, blades, and pouches on a costume, kids will love it. Honestly, I was a kid at the time and I did love it, so I guess they were right. I actually still love the armor to this day. In fact, it's one of the few 90s costumes I still like, the blue hoodie Scarlet Spider being the other one. But the point is, I think this design is great. I mean, it's Batman with huge razor claw gauntlets on his hands and a massive cool cape. It's a custom-made armor with razor discs, blades, and all sorts of hidden weapons and goodies. Which makes sense because it wasn't for Bruce. It was for Jean-Paul, who was a more aggressive and unstable Batman, who really didn't give a crap. A Batman that fans would soon call Azbat. At number 7 is Alex Ross's Kingdom Come Bat armor. Kingdom Come takes place in the future, 2020 to be exact, and most of the heroes have retired, including Batman. But Bruce didn't leave Gotham unprotected. He has a legion of Bat Knights who watch and patrol the city to keep the peace. However, we all know robots can only do so much, so Bruce is forced to come out of retirement to help an aged Superman. The problem is Bruce is human and a lot more fragile in his older age, so he puts on an unnamed armor that lets him fight like he was young again. Not only does the power armor allow him to fight like he's young again, it also gives him superhuman strength and the ability to fly. But it doesn't stop there. He also has twin lasers and sharp blades to cut through whatever he sees fit. So for those reasons, and for how iconic this suit is, it had to be on this list. A lot of you may not know about this next suit. It's the Lord Batman Beyond armor from the Batman Beyond 2.0 comic, which is fantastic and just expands upon the Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond cartoon. Anyway, Terry McGinnis finds this suit in Lord Batman's Batcave. He then puts it on and wrecks shop with it. First of all, it just looks awesome. The gargoyle bat-type wings make it look so menacing, but it also has synthetic kryptonite laced into the suit that can be activated when fighting Lord Superman, or really any Kryptonian for that matter. He then uses this suit to take down Lord Superman with a massive kryptonite blast from his chest. Again, this suit may not be that popular, but man do I love it. Making its way into the top 5 is Batman's armor from the Justice comic. By now you know that Batman is no stranger to strapping on an exoskeleton or a mech suit to help him fight alongside his super friends when there's a massive threat. And the Justice miniseries was another example of just that. In this series, the Dark Knight puts on one of my favorite looking bat armors ever. It literally makes him look like a Dark Knight, and those wings are just awesome. Some of you probably already noticed this by looking at it, but the suit actually pulls inspiration from the '66 Batmobile from the Adam West and Burt Ward TV series. Much like all Batman's mech suits, this suit can take hits from characters on par with Superman. Also, the wings aren't just for looks, they also allow him to fly. Not too much more is known about this bat armor, but one thing is for sure, it looks awesome. At number 4 is the Justice Buster armor, which debuted in Batman issue 35 of the New 52. When the Joker poisoned the Justice League, causing them to attack Bruce in Gotham, Batman had Alfred enact Plan Fenrir, which basically just meant it was time to take the Justice Buster armor out for a spin. As the name implies, this armor allows him to take down the entire Justice League. The suit not only protects him from heavy hitters like Wonder Woman and Superman, it also has protocols and weapons built in to take down each member, like a frictionless coating he can spray to take down the Flash, or a special foam that becomes the most absorbent material on Earth, which he uses to take down Aquaman. The more he struggles, the more moisture it rips from his body. He even has red sun knuckles to punch the crap out of Superman. Bottom line, this suit is a beast. Making the top 3 is Batman's Thrasher armor from the Court of Owls storyline. This armor first appeared in Batman issue 8 of the New 52. The suit is designed to thrash people around, and Bruce even says in the comic, and I'm quoting, "My suit is built for war." In fact, the first time we see it, Batman goes to war with a crap ton of Talons who broke into Wayne Manor and the Batcave. The suit is made of meta-aramid fibers of Batman's own design, which is stronger than Kevlar. The armor can also withstand extreme heat and freezing cold. The suit uses a semi-solid flow micro battery and has enough oxygen for weeks, which basically means it's built for battle in the most alien territories on Earth. The suit also has all sorts of weapons like cryogenic batarangs, which look awesome and shoot out of his gauntlets, an electromagnetic pulse, and electric needles to fry opponents. But again, all I should really have to say is that this suit was built for war. It's an all-around beast. Coming in runner-up on this list is the fan-favorite Hellbat armor. This armor looks so BA, it's not even funny. There's just no other way to say it, because just saying it looks awesome doesn't do it justice. In fact, this armor is so BA that it can take a punch from Darkseid himself. But not only can it take a punch from Darkseid, Batman could also knock Darkseid on his butt while wearing the suit, as seen in multiple panels. With that said, this is probably the strongest out of all of Batman's armors, which I'm sure you might have assumed by now. The armor was built by the founding members of the Justice League. They wanted to build it for Batman as they were worried that he was the only normal human among them. So Superman forged the armor in the freaking sun, Green Lantern worked on the wings, and the Flash tested the suit to make sure it could withstand the Speed Force. Cyborg then gave the armor advanced technology, and even Wonder Woman and Aquaman contributed. The armor does have one downside though. It drains energy from Batman's metabolism, so he could die if he wears it for long periods. But again, while in the suit, Batman could fight gods. It doesn't really get much cooler than that. Finally, coming in at number 1 is the Dark Knight Returns armor, which should be no surprise to any of you diehard Batman fans. This armor is hands down the most well-known and iconic armor Batman has ever worn in or out of comics. It's so iconic, in fact, that it's the inspiration for the armor Batman uses in Batman v Superman. It was also used in the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon when Batman fought Superman. Basically, if you think of Batman wearing any kind of power suit or armor, this is most likely the first armor that comes to mind. Mainly because he used it in one of the most popular fights in all of comic history, when he fought Superman in The Dark Knight Returns. I think this suit also has an ageless quality to it where it's always gonna look cool. I mean, the comic is over 20 years old and it still looks awesome. Plus, on a personal level, it's the first armor I ever saw Batman wear, as I'm sure it is for many of you. This suit is just super iconic, and for that and many other reasons, it had to be number 1. But I'm sure my list isn't going to be the same as yours, so let me know what your top 10 favorite Batman armors are in the comment section down below. First up for Wednesday, February 8th, we have All-Star Batman issue 7. Poison Ivy is about to steal the spotlight in Batman's continuing Rogues Gallery road trip. Now we have Red Hood in the Outlaws issue 7. Jason is dealing with an immense power of his own Bizarro. What's to be done about such a volatile creature? And is he too dangerous to be kept alive? And finally, we have the Kingpin issue 1. The Kingpin has done bad things, like really bad things, but that's all in the past. The Kingpin is back in the city he loves and is ready to be a legitimate man. And that brings another episode of Variant to a close. But if you like this video or any of our others, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then the bell next to it so you're notified every time we upload a new video. But remember, you can always like our Variant Facebook page to keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also follow Variant on Twitter at Variant Comics or me on Twitter at Arris_Quinones. But I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. Costume/armor Jean-Paul wore during his time as Batman. Wore what it isn't good for. It's huge. It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be a massive.
It's the best suit. It's the greatest suit. There's no better suit.